Hi, and welcome to Ivy English. I'm Karen.
And I'm Chris Gorski.
Today is July 9th, and we're on page 28 in your magazines. And today we're going to hear about a really, really unusual animal that I had never heard of before this lesson.
So we have an animal that might make you even think of the game Pokemon. It is the Dik-Dik.
All right. Our title is The Dik-Dik, Fascinating Facts About Africa's Tiny Hoofed Treasures. So I think we'll just jump right into the article. The Dik-Dik is a type of antelope native to southern and eastern Africa. However, Dik-Diks are no ordinary antelopes. Unlike their larger cousins, some of which stand at over 1.5 meters tall, Dik-Diks are known for their tiny size. A fully grown Dik-Dik will normally reach no more than 16 inches in height. Of course, their size makes them an easy target for predators, including big cats, birds of prey, and sadly, humans. Nevertheless, amazingly, these tiny hoofed creatures can reach running speeds of almost 30 miles per hour, which means they do have some protection against larger animals.
The first thing about Dik-Diks that may pique your curiosity is their unusual name. The word Dik-Dik actually comes from a sound that these animals make. If a Dik-Dik senses danger, it will run around in a zigzag pattern and make a Dik-Dik sound to alert other animals nearby that trouble may be on the way.
Next is the Dik-Dik's distinctive appearance. Most notably, they have large eyes and long eyelashes. In addition, below each eye is a large black spot. It is from here that the Dik-Dik secretes sticky black tears, which it uses to mark its territory. Dik-Diks also mark their territory through a so-called defecation ceremony. First, the female of the pair marks an area by excreting her dung and urine. Then the male, after spreading the female's dung over the ground with his foot, excretes his own dung and urine on top of hers. A Dik-Dik's excretions are particularly effective in marking an area because these creatures do not drink. Therefore, the waste they produce is especially dry and concentrated.
So there you have it. If you ever visit Africa, be on the lookout for these tiny and adorable creatures scurrying around in thick grass.
Making lots of very hard poop.
Yeah, just be careful not to step in anything, I guess.
Yeah. How romantic, they mix their poop together.
I will say that as a child, one of my favorite kinds of literature were like zoo books, books that talked about animals. I loved nonfiction and reading to learn something new. I was not a person that read for just the story. I wanted to learn more. I very much wanted to consume new information. And when I get articles like this, I'm just so pleased. I still have that in me, although I know I am no longer so firmly against like fiction and stories and the classic novels we discuss. But this is my favorite kind of stuff to read.
Yeah, boys really like stories about farts and things.
Well, as a matter of fact, I very much am very interested in like the history and the effects of kind of poo-poo pee-pee on society. And I know it's like immature and people think like I have this like silly fascination with it, but it has a massive impact in history. And it affects the culture and the nature because we are animals.
Yes. Yeah, I think about that a lot, too. And they used to have signs put around in buildings like where people held gatherings and parties. Do not defecate in the closets, which tells you that some people just ran off and hid in a closet and did it there.
Like maybe like water closet? Maybe
no,
like
it was a real
just
closet.
A regular like jackets and coats.
And they said, do not defecate on the stairs and closet and in the closets, which means people had some really, really bad hygiene habits.
Oh my goodness.
I know. So anyway, we're going to learn about, poo-poo and pee-pee parts of the Dik-Dik's life, which are really kind of interesting. So our title again is The Dik-Dik, Fascinating Facts About Africa's Tiny Hoofed Treasures. So just make sure you know all the words. If you know the words, this title should be pretty clear. This is just the name of the animal. Fascinating facts. Fascinating is a really, really useful word, like when you're posting to Facebook. Oh, this is a fascinating study on. So fascinating is a word you really need. Facts, things that are true about Africa's, and it's not all of Africa as I understand. It says in the article, it's southern and eastern Africa. It's parts of Africa. Tiny is very small. Hoofed means that they have a hoof like a cow. like certain animals, like a deer, they have hoofs. And treasures, that means they are really, really interesting and we value them a lot. So our title again is The Dik-Dik, Fascinating Facts About Africa's Tiny Hoofed Creatures. Our first sentence, the Dik-Dik is a type of antelope native to southern and eastern Africa. So it jumps right into our subject. We know that the Dik-Dik is a kind of animal, and what is it similar to? It's a kind of antelope, which is similar to a deer. And we also know where in the world it's found.
So be careful with the words southern and eastern.
Absolutely.
When we have south, that TH has that breathy sound. But when we have southern, the OU has like a short U sound. And then our TH, we have to vibrate in our throat. Southern, not southern.
Exactly. So many people make that mistake. So pay attention again. South, southern, south, southern. And as for eastern, a lot of people say ist. It's in the ist.
Yeah, I have eastern, that long E. That's definitely part of my vocabulary.
And it's everybody. Yeah. So it's eastern. Don't say eastern. Western, eastern. And just to throw in another point on pronunciation, there's a difference between east and yeast. East and yeast. And Taiwanese have a terrible time with that one. Another one is ear and year. Ear, year. There was a teacher, somebody told me, who said, oh, they sound the same. You just will have to figure out what they mean by context.
No. It's starting with Y. It's like, yes, yellow, YouTube. My children have, my children that I teach have real difficulty with the word studying. They give me a lot of studying. Mm-hmm. And this is part of my accent, but I really push that Y in there. And I kind of set the tone with it by when we're learning the word studying, when we're doing gerunds or continuous, like, hey, we're going to say the words yellow, yes, your. And because this is the start of that syllable, you're going to have that hard Y sound. This is how I set it up for them. And they generally can get it, but I do a lot of correction there. That Y you definitely need to pronounce.
Those are exactly the words that I use to teach my students the same thing. Yellow, yes, yes, and year and yeast. But here it's the other one, east. All right, so southern and eastern. Next sentence. However, Dik-Diks are no ordinary antelopes. Now, you may not know about much about antelopes, but if you do know something about them, Dik-Diks are going to be different. So if you're imagining just kind of deer, these are going to have something quite special about them.
Be careful with are no ordinary. Don't say something like aren't no. The no here is your negative, so your be verb needs to be positive here. I get a lot of students that say things aren't no, and I have to correct that a lot.
Right. For example, you can say, oh, he's no ordinary leader. That's a way of praising him. It is an intensifier. It makes it stronger. He's no ordinary. He is not like most leaders. He's really special. Unlike their larger cousins, some of which stand at over 1.5 meters tall, Dik-Diks are known for their tiny size. A fully grown Dik-Dik will normally reach no more than 16 inches in height. So the first thing here is you're going to have to convert inches to meters and centimeters because they've mixed the two. The first one is 1.5 meters tall. A meter is about the same as a yard. A yard is 3 feet. A foot is 12 inches. So if you think 1/3 of a meter and then about half of that again, that's about the right size. So 16 inches, it is like maybe 1/3 to 1/2 of a meter, somewhere around there.
It's kind of like a big cat or a small dog. Not like a chihuahua, but a smaller dog or a pretty big cat. That's roughly the size. If you look at a picture standing next to like a zookeeper, you could totally understand their height.
Okay, and normally reach means to attain, to achieve. That means at most. They will not reach any more than 16 inches. Next sentence, of course, their size makes them an easy target for predators, including big cats, birds of prey, and sadly, humans. And of all the animals, humans do the most damage, clearly. Okay, so first of all, an easy target. That means it's very easy to catch them, to capture them, and then eat them. An easy target. He's an easy target for scammers. That means it's very easy to deceive him and to get money from him by dishonest people. Okay, so an easy target for something. Predators are animals that go after other animals. And the animals they go after, we call the prey, P-R-E-Y, prey. So this is the prey, this is the predator chasing it.
But be careful of the phrase birds of prey. They are actually predators. So birds of prey seems like maybe you can eat those birds. That's not true. These are hawks. These are eagles. These guys catch other animals and eat them. Now, prey is uncountable, but predators are countable. So this can be a little confusing because P-R-E-Y, the uncountable noun, sounds a whole lot like the verb pray. That means talk to God, P-R-A-Y.
Exactly like. No,
yeah,
exactly
so
like.
How do you kind of separate these two words? Well, what I like to tell students is you write P-R-E-Y out, and then at the letter E, underneath it, write the letters A-T. So pray, get eaten.
Oh, okay. So P-R-E-Y-E-A-T, eat.
That's right.
Eat the prey. So you'll remember when you see it, it's prey. P-R-A-Y sounds exactly the same, totally different meaning. So birds of prey are birds that go after other animals. And here it says that other animals that threaten the dik-diks include big cats. Now, it doesn't mean that you have a very, very fat cat at home. Usually, when they talk about big cats, they're normally talking about lions and tigers. And then birds of prey we've already mentioned, and sadly, humans. We're the worst. Humans, there's another pronunciation thing to watch out for. People from New York City will tend to say humans. Humans. And that pronunciation is now spreading all over the U.S. So H-U-G-E, I say huge, but my brother-in-law says huge. He's from Brooklyn. But I've heard it in people from Texas, so it's really spreading. Okay, so it's humans. Our next sentence. Nevertheless, amazingly, these tiny hoofed creatures can reach running speeds of almost 30 miles per hour, which means they do have some protection against larger animals. All right, here they've gone to miles instead of meters again, or kilometers. That may be a little confusing, but 30 miles per hour is a pretty slow speed for a car, but it's very fast for an animal because humans walk at about 4 miles per hour. So 30 miles per hour, that's a lot faster than people walk. That is really fast. Okay? So this means that they have some protection. So their main way of defending themselves, protecting themselves, is by running away. That is the way of protecting yourself, number 36 in the Chinese system.
It's very specific, yeah.
Yeah, they have, in Chinese, you have 36 ways of winning over your opponent. And if none of them work, then number 36 is run away. And that's what they usually do.
That is a giant question mark over my head.
We'll have to talk about that another time. Native Chinese speakers will know. Okay,
let's continue to the next paragraph. The first thing about dik-diks that may pique your curiosity is their unusual name.
So that is a strange name, and we have to tell you that it sounds like something in English that is not usually said in polite company.
Yeah, if someone's a jerk or not nice, you have a really rude word you could call them. It's also slang for a part of a man's body. I'll let you guess.
That's right. So do not use that casually. If it's guys among male friends, no problem. If you're really angry at someone and you're just talking to friends, it's not a problem. But it's a very vulgar and it's a very strong word, so be careful of it. But when we're saying dik-dik, we're kind of going because we know that it also sounds like another word. So just keep it in mind. You really should become familiar with which words also sound like English vulgarity, so you don't say them by accident. So a lot of people say, oh, we went down to the bitch today.
Yeah. I actually have done that myself with Taiwanese, where I've mispronounced certain words, and I didn't know they were swear words. And then everybody gasped or was shocked. And I learned in that moment that it's like a phrase I heard, but apparently it was really rude. But when I heard it, no one had a strong reaction. So I wasn't aware in the context that this was a swear word. So it's one of those things you just need to learn as a language learner.
Be very sensitive to people's feedback because you'll see a shocked expression on people's face, and you better find out what's going on or you'll get in trouble again. Okay, so to pique somebody's curiosity, that means to make you curious. Pique actually means sort of to poke, to stick a needle in something. So it'll stick a needle in your curiosity, make you want to know, wow, what about these things? I've never heard of them. So the first thing that kind of makes you curious is this funny name, Dik-Dik. Okay?
Our next sentence says, the word Dik-Dik actually comes from a sound that these animals make.
And that makes perfect sense, especially since it is repeated. If it's just Dick, it's one thing. And actually, Dick is a nickname for Richard, and sometimes they get made fun of for that nickname. But when you put two words together, Dik-Dik, it's sort of like in Thailand, They have these motorcycles with a place to sit. They call them tuk-tuks.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Tuk-tuk.
Yeah,
And that
tuk-tuk.
is also a word that it actually imitates the sound. And so this is the sound that the animal makes. That's how it gets its name. I'm sure there are quite a few other animals that are also named because of the sound they make. Okay, next sentence.
If a dik-dik senses danger, it will run around in a zigzag pattern and make a dik-dik sound to alert other animals nearby that trouble may be on the way.
Now that is very generous and kind of them to warn the other animals when he himself was probably in trouble.
Yeah, I wonder if it's not just that other animals have learned when the dik-dik makes this sound, you need to pay attention because other animals also pay attention to birds when they fly away. If the birds suddenly fly away, please pay attention.
Humans pay attention to it because if you're in an area that has no birds, there's often something wrong with that area, like there's been an atomic bomb that exploded there before or something.
Very quiet, yeah. I remember when I worked as a camp counselor, if the crows suddenly got quiet, pay attention. That means there's probably another animal around. There may be an oncoming thunderstorm because the crows were always noisy and they were always near our campsite. So we paid attention to them.
That's right. So if there are a lot of birds chirping away, usually it means that things are well in the world. A zigzag pattern means you go this way and then suddenly make a triangle shape, head the other way, then head the first way again, and then the other way back and forth. That's a zigzag pattern, walking back and forth. It's not an efficient way to walk. If you walked in a straight line, you would get where you're going faster, but apparently it's intended to confuse their predators.
Yeah, in fact, I watched a video this morning of a lion chasing a dik-dik, and it ran in that zigzag pattern, and it made the lion stumble. So zigzags are not smooth turns. These are very sharp.
Okay, alert other animals to means to warn them, to alert them to something or warn them of something. That trouble is on the way, or may be on the way. That means other animals are there and other animals might be in danger. Okay, our last paragraph. Next is the dik-dik's distinctive appearance. So distinctive means unusual. When you look at it, you probably won't forget it because it's so different from most other animals that are something like it. It's quite unusual.
If you watch the movie Detective Pikachu like 2 years ago, it looks like it belongs in that movie. It really does look like a Pokemon.
Most notably, they have large eyes and long eyelashes. Now that makes them really unusual. First of all, big eyes. We're attracted to big eyes.
Yeah.
We find them very attractive. We're also attracted to long eyelashes. That's why women use fake eyelashes so much. But it's funny on an animal when it happens naturally, just like a llama. Llamas also have long eyelashes, and camels, right. In addition, below each eye is a large black spot. Now, that part is easy enough, a big black spot, but there's something special about it. It is from here that the dik-dik secretes sticky black tears, which it uses to mark its territory. Now, this kind of changes it. If it's just a color, it's one thing. But first of all, stuff comes out of those spots, and it's sticky. That means when you touch it, it will stick to your hand. Secretes means that it puts out. It just puts the stuff out, makes it come out. And there are tears coming out of their eyes, but these have a special purpose. It rubs against probably trees and bushes and things to mark its territory, to tell the other animals or maybe to tell potential mates that this is my territory, stay away.
Think of it like a little kid that's got a runny nose. When something secretes, it oozes, O-O-Z-E, and it's kind of thick and sticky like a booger. Think of little kids that have a runny nose. That's a lot what it looks like, which makes them a little less cute.
And it's probably really gross when they mark their territory with it. Dik-diks also mark their territory through a so-called defecation ceremony. Now, that's interesting because usually mating ceremonies, I think of like peacocks and other birds flapping their wings and trying to impress the ladies.
This is a little different.
But here they use their excrement. So defecation is to poop. It's a fancy word for poop. First, the female of the pair marks an area by excreting her dung and urine. Now, what an attractive thing for a lady to do to get a man's attention. Poop.
You will pay attention.
I don't know what kind of man you're going to attract if you do that as a human. But this is what the dik-diks do. So first of all, she poops and then she pees. Next, the male, after spreading the female's dung over the ground with his foot, excretes his own dung and urine on top of hers. So he's waiting for this. This is a signal to him that she's kind of interested in getting together. So he sees it, and that's a good sign, and he'll spread it around. And then he'll add his contribution. He poops and also pees on top of hers after he spread it around.
So dung is just a fancy word for poop. You might know the little bug that makes poo balls and rolls them around. Those are called dung beetles.
That's right. And dung is also a good word to practice to contrast with done. If you say, I'm done, you are finished. If you say, I'm dung, you're really insulting yourself. Done, dung. My students have trouble with that, so make sure you work on that. A Dik-Dik's excretions are particularly effective in marking an area because these creatures do not drink. So that means their poop is going to be very hard and very dry and very concentrated. Therefore, the waste they produce is especially dry and concentrated, like I just said.
So there you have it. If you ever visit Africa, be on the lookout for these tiny and adorable creatures scurrying around in thick grass.
Scurry is to run around very quickly. The first animal I think of when I hear scurry is...
mouse.
That's right. A native speaker of English will probably think of a mouse first. Okay, that's it for our text, but we have some questions here to answer. Number 1, which of the following statements is not true?
A. Dik-Diks do not cry tears.
B. Dik-Diks live in grassy areas.
C. Dik-Diks make a distinctive sound.
D. Dik-Diks are indigenous to the African continent. Now, which one is not true? It's A. Dik-Diks do not cry tears. They do cry tears, and they're very important because they're used in marking their territory. So A is the correct answer.
Number 2, what can be inferred from the passage?
A. The Dik-Dik is the world's smallest hoofed animal. Actually, the text didn't say that, so no.
B. Dik-Diks feed on the waste of other animals. No.
It doesn't say that they eat it. I mean, they're kind of into poop because they use it in mating, but it doesn't say that they eat it. All right. And C. Dik-Diks commonly go around in pairs. Yeah. I think we can infer that because if you spread your poop around and no one comes to the party, I mean, you're not going to have any more little Dik-Diks in the world. So they must go around in pairs. C must be the correct answer. And D?
The Dik-Dik has a strong sense of smell. Maybe
they don't, so it doesn't bother them.
Well, they have unusual noses, and they are monogamous, meaning they only have one partner for their whole lives, which is about 4 years, but they don't say any of this in the article.
That's right. So we can't infer it from the article. The answer is C. Dik-Diks commonly go around in pairs. And number 3, where is this passage most likely to appear?
A, in a medical journal.
That does not sound too likely. B, in a blog post about big cats? They're not cats.
C, in a nature magazine, which sounds like a really good answer.
Yes, which I would say is the right answer. And D, in an editorial about the meat industry.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't think they're talking about Dik-Diks as good food, at least not for humans.
And
maybe
there's
for
no
other
opinion.
Animals. That's right. It says editorial. So an editorial is a special part of the paper where somebody expresses an opinion rather than trying to report the news objectively. Okay, number 4.
Tiffany needs to finish her homework on Dik-Diks. Which of the following notes is not true?
So below the question, we have a little table. At the top, the title is Dik-Diks. On the left, it's ABCD. In the left-hand column, it says sound. And the right-hand column, it says Dik-Dik. So which of the following notes is not true or correct? The sound is Dik-Dik is correct, so let's not circle A.
B, height, at least 1.5 meters. Well, that comes from the first paragraph.
And that is not true because that's how high some of its relatives get, but not the Dik-Dik. The Dik-Dik only grows to about 16 inches, which is much less than 1.5 meters. So B is not true, and thus we're going to circle B. C is features. Features are just things that are special about them, parts of them. And it says on the right, big eyes and long eyelashes. This is true. This is something typical of Dik-Dik. So C is not the right answer.
And D, marking their territory with tears, dung, or urine, which sounds very...
very Dik-Dik-like. Yes, that's something they do. Since it's true, we don't mark that. The correct answer is B, height, at least 1.5 meters is wrong. That's it for today. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.